Hey, what's going on? This is Alex McAfee from Fast and Light, and today we are doing an ad breakdown. And for our ad today, we're talking about this ad here that we did for our client, Twisted Alchemy. They make these freshly cold pressed juices that, maintain their enzymes and don't have any sugar or preservatives in them. And this is an ad for them that we've been running for about 1.5 years, and it's super simple. And we've tested this against hundreds of other ads that are like super high design and have lots of call outs or might have motion graphics or just talk about a lot. And this ad is still the best performer after hundreds of other ads tested against it. And let's talk about why that is. And so as a starting point, I wanted to start with this quote by David Ogilvy. Most campaigns are too complicated. They reflect a long list of objectives and try to reconcile the divergent view of too many executives. By attempting to cover too many things, they achieve nothing. And so we really want to talk about the simplicity of ads and how people are seeing ads these days. And so, back in the day, this is actually one of the ads that inspired me to make this ad. I created this ad myself. This is an old Volkswagen ad. And think about the format. Maybe somebody saw this maybe this was on the side of a bus stop. Maybe this was inside of a magazine. Maybe this was on a full page ad in a newspaper. But it was somewhere that people had a moment to stop and read the paragraphs below that super simple headline, lemon. Okay. And so it's still simple enough to get somebody to stop and look at it and pique their interest, especially with something like lemon. Like, what does that mean? It's piquing my interest. I want to read more. And it's not telling you what it is right away. And so think about how different things are these days. Like, people aren't flipping through magazines. They're not opening up a magazine and they get a phone call on their wall phone and they leave the magazine open and somebody else might see it, right? So we're competing against people's attention as they're scrolling, and there's all these other things that are coming into their view, and their attention spans are really short. And so how do we get an ad to, one, stop the scroll? Stopping the scroll is always the number one thing for an ad to do. It needs to be compelling enough for somebody to stop for a microsecond to maybe read a little bit more or to at least understand what it is. And then that's the next part of an ad. An ad needs to be simple enough to tell what the thing is. And so in this instance, the concept is it's 30 limes hand squeezed into every bottle. So cold pressed juice, just limes. It's implying that there's just limes, that there's no other artificial things in there. But it's really simple value proposition. It's these limes in this bottle and it's fresh, right? Hand squeezed, artisanal in some way, right? And so it's showing the product. Like, I hate it when there's a bunch of, sometimes if you're making like some artisanal backpack or some nice clothes, you could do the making of to pique somebody's interest. But again, most people won't watch past 3, maybe 15 seconds. So if you're not showing that, if you're doing a video ad or a motion graphic ad, you're not actually showing the product within a short amount of time, nobody knows what the ad's actually about. And so something like this, even if they're scrolling past and they're stopping for a half of a second, they see that there's a product, and even that's a nice impression. And so this ad's working because it is so simple. It's implying a lot of things. It's conveying what it is in an interesting way, just like that. Again, it's a Volkswagen. We see that it's a Volkswagen. We see that it's a car, and then it's a lemon. But if you actually read the rest of it, it talks about how it's not a lemon, and most cars are lemons. And what Volkswagen does is they have really good quality control, so it eliminates a lot of these things that create terrible cars. And so it stops your field of vision, stops you when you're flipping through a magazine or you're walking by a bus stop and you see what it is. Oh, it's a car. Oh, but it's a lemon. But is it really a lemon? Why is it a lemon? And we can get into like why kind of negative advertising works. But that's going to be another video. But it stops, gets your attention, piques your interest, but it still really clearly shows you what the product is. And that's what we want to do these days in advertising. We want to stop, get people's attention, show them what it is, show the product, and then give them a concept to understand why it's better, or why they need to read more or pay attention more, or click over to the website where we can provide some more exposition, or get them into an email flow where we can send them a welcome series that educates them on a product. But really, we just need to show them something that's interesting and something that has enough value for them to want to learn more.